21st consecutive year, WCIA Channel 3 brings you Fighting Illini Basketball. Fighting Illini Basketball is brought to you in part by Busch Beer. Remember, don't just reach for a beer, head for the mountain. By True Value Hardware Stores, more than a name, it's their way of doing business. By 7-Up, with a taste that's crisp and clean and no caffeine. And by the Magnificent 7 Chevy dealers, the ones with a Chevy price advantage.
Good afternoon, everybody, from the University of Illinois Assembly Hall. Welcome to Fighting Illini Basketball. This is Dave Shaw along with Dan Roan. This afternoon, the Illini try to hold on to a share of the first place in the Big Ten Conference as they tackle the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan is a team that is deep in talent, but has been somewhat inconsistent. The record only 4-3 in the Big Ten so far.
Well, they have been inconsistent, Dave, and Bill Frieder is still looking for the starting lineup that can get the job done best. He'll play probably 9 or 10 players today in the game. And that in itself will be a problem for Illinois, trying to keep up with all that depth and trying to keep a fresh team on the floor, because as you know, Illinois is not a very deep basketball team at this point in the season.
The Illini coming off a cold shooting 46-40 victory over Michigan State on Thursday night. We'll be back to set the lineups for this one this afternoon at the Assembly Hall right after these words. Back at the Assembly Hall, just a couple of minutes away from this Big Ten matchup between the Illini and Michigan. Michigan coming in with a 12-5 record, the Illini 14-2. They're the officials for this afternoon's game. The head referee, Richie Weiler, there in the middle. On the left, Ted Hillary. On the right, George Solomon. The officials for this afternoon's Illinois-Michigan game. In this series, Illinois leads at 54-49. They have a 34-18 edge at Champaign. The Illini won both games last season in pretty impressive fashion. 87-74 at Michigan and 91-71 here in Champaign. As I mentioned, the Illini 14-2 for the season. Just 2 losses, a 2-point loss to Kentucky and the overtime defeat at Indiana. And the Illini 5-1 in the Big Ten. The only loss, of course, coming to the Hoosiers at Bloomington. Michigan coached by Bill Frieder. This Wolverine team, as we mentioned, deep in talent. Some just great athletes on this team, not just good basketball players, but fine athletes. A lot to choose from for Coach Bill Frieder, and perhaps that has added to the problems in trying to settle on a consistent lineup.
I think that's true, Dave, and in fact, he's going to start a couple of guys today who we did not think we'd see in a starting lineup. Butch Wade at center, and Antoine Jobert, the great freshman, at one of the guards.
First out is number 40, Richard Relford, the 6'6 sophomore, 230-pounder from Florida. For the Illini, Ephraim Winters, the sophomore from Chicago, 6 feet 9 inches tall, averaging 14 points a game. And one forward for Michigan, a veteran, number 44, Tim McCormick, 6'11 senior from Clarkston, Michigan, averaging just under 12 points a game. For the Illini, a forward, number 22, Doug Altenberger, averaging just about 13 points a game, the 6'4 sophomore from Peoria Richwoods. At center for Michigan, a 6'8 sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts, Butch Wade, averaging just over 6 points a game. He's replacing Roy Tarpley at that starting position at center. George Montgomery out for the Illini starting at center, a 6'8 junior from Chicago, averaging 11 points a game. For Michigan at one guard, number 25, just a great all-around player, a junior from Flint Central, Eric Turner, averaging 11 points a game. For the Illini, Bruce Douglas, a sophomore from Quincy. He averages 11 points a game, 6 feet 3 inches tall. And out last for Michigan, their celebrated freshman recruit from Detroit Southwestern, Antoine Joubert, wearing number 11, a 6'5 freshman, averaging 8 points a game. And for the Illini, the senior Quinn Richardson, number 21, sophomore from Robbins, Illinois. And Quinn is averaging 6 points a game. These teams have amazingly balanced scoring. In fact, the leading scorer for Michigan averaging just under 12 points a game. That's McCormick. Leslie Rockymore isn't even starting today, averaging 10.5 points a game. The same for the Illini, with Winters at 14, Altenberger at 12, and Montgomery at 11. Extremely balanced scoring for both teams. Bill Frieder in his 3rd year as coach of Michigan, 53-49 record. Former top assistant to Johnny Orr, who moved on to Iowa State. Frieder's had some great recruiting years, but still the question remains, can he put it together? Of course, for the Illini, Lou Hinson in his 9th season, just 2 victories short of the 400 career win mark, 398, 204. He is 18th in the country among active coaches and 1st in the Big Ten in victories. So we're set for action. A near capacity crowd. Should be just about 16,000 here this afternoon. A very wintry afternoon in Champaign-Urbana. Glad you could be with us. Illinois and Michigan. There are your starting lineups again. Relford, McCormick, Wade, Turner, and Gilbert. Winters, Oldenburger, Montgomery, Douglas, and Richardson. The Illini, we're set for action. Michigan coming in with a 4-3 record in the Big Ten, and Illinois is tied for first with Purdue at 5-1. The opening tip goes to Illinois. So Michigan tapped it out. Illinois ball. And right in front of us, Bruce Douglas will toss it in. A very physical Michigan State team. Relford in at 240. Wade at 230. There's Ephraim Winters out to Doug Altenberger. On the top of the key, Bruce Douglas. To Winters. Looking underneath. Ball slapped out of bounds. No, bad pass. Michigan did not touch it.
Could have fooled me. I thought Butch Wade knocked it out of bounds.
Wolverines ball. With
pretty straight up and aggressive man-to-man defense by Michigan. And, of course, the Wolverines will see the same thing from Illinois to start the game.
Eric Turner to Antoine Gilbert. Gilbert is 6'5". There's Relford around the top to Turner. Out front, Gilbert. Into McCormick. And
George Montgomery took it right away from him.
All kinds of traffic in there provided by the Illini, and they come up with the ball. There's Winters. Haven't had a shot yet. There's Oldenburger. To George Montgomery to Quinn Richardson. Illini coming off a very low-scoring 46-40 victory over Michigan State on Thursday night. They shot 39%. And Ephraim Winters hits the first shot of this game. It's Illinois 2, Michigan nothing.
Just great patience by Illinois. We've come to expect it on this ball club. They've run that offense until they get a good 15-foot jump shot on Ephraim Winters. Although he's had some problems lately, he's an accurate shooter from there for the most part.
Eric Turner out to Gilbert. Drives against Douglas, puts up the shot, off, no good. Rebound, George Montgomery muscles it down. And I mean, there's going to be some action under the boards. And now George
took a shot. I believe he's going to be okay. I think I know what the problem is.
Scott Mitz is going to come in as George Montgomery tenderly walks through the sidelines.
He's okay.
As we said, the action's going to be hot and heavy underneath tonight. Scott Mitz, sophomore from Herscher, into the game to replace George Montgomery. George left the game early against Michigan State, sat down with 2 fouls in the first half, and the Illini offense deteriorated from that point. So Mitz in the game. Here's Winters with the ball for the Illini to Doug Altenberger. His jumper in and out, no good. Rebound into the hands of Richard Relford to Eric Turner. E.T. down with it. And his shot is up and in. 2-2, we're tied. And a foul against Richard Relford.
Kind of a funny matchup today. They have Relford out front guarding Bruce Douglas.
Relford from Riviera Beach, Florida, also the hometown of Anthony Carter. Played football, a lot of football for Michigan.
I'll tell you what, Relford could play a lot of football for some people, too. In fact, he was highly recruited as a football player before he decided to come to Michigan. Boy, he's doing a good job on Douglas.
Almost lost the ball. Finally gets rid of it.
Boy, Lou Henson wants a foul on that play. Didn't get it. Illinois sets it back up again. Here's Scott Mitz.
And a foul on Michigan. Butch Wade.
Well, just as Winters made his break to the high post, Wade gave him a shove when the ball got there. No shot, out of bounds, Illinois underneath the basket, and 2 team fouls quickly on Michigan. I don't think you're going to see the lob play to Winters this time. They've got him surrounded down there on the block about halfway down the free throw line.
Here you are underneath the Illinois basket as Bruce Douglas passes in to Doug Altenberger in the corner. Out front to Quinn Richardson. Played nearly 3 minutes and only 4 points in the game. 2-2 Illinois, Michigan.
Michigan switches back to the man-to-man. They zone the inbounds play. Winters having to work hard. Went to the floor that time.
Quinn Richardson looks inside. Winters will take the shot, and it is good. Ephraim Winters with the first 2 baskets of the game for Illinois. It is 4-2. Lob pass off the backboard. Turner saves it for Michigan. Now gives to Wade out front to Antoine Joubert. And Antoine Joubert puts it in for Michigan. We're tied at 4. So Winters has all of Illinois' points, and the 2 guards have the Wolverines' points in a 4-4 game. 16:15 to go in the first half. Quinn Richardson. Now to Winters. There's that shot again. And he hits again. 3 out of 3 for Ephraim. It's 6-4.
It's really nice work on that offense. They just set some great screens inside, especially Mentz and Altenberger down deep, and Winters just pops up for that 16-footer.
Now, the Illini like to see Ephraim asserting himself offensively. Eric Turner with the ball for the Wolverines. Inside to McCormick against Mentz. Turns it around, puts it up, no good. And Richardson has the loose ball. Bruce Douglas, he hits. So the Illini, after a cold shooting performance Thursday night, off to a good start here this afternoon. It's Illinois 8 and Michigan 4. 15:30 to go, first half. Roy Tarpley is getting set to come in for Michigan. Joubert puts up the jumper, no good. Winters has the rebound, lost it, and a foul.
A late whistle, but a proper whistle. Butch Wade's going to pick up the foul. You get a chance to see it again.
Butch Wade picked up the foul.
Watch Winters get up on this
Wade
play.
just comes crashing in.
There it is.
And a timeout on the floor. 15:21 to go in the half. The score, Illinois 8 and Michigan 4. Well, the Illini have hit 4 out of their first 5 shots in the field and lead 8-4.
Not only have they hit 4 of the first 5, but they've all been about that 16, 18-foot range. And that's got to make you feel good when you think about what happened here the other night against Michigan State in that 39% performance.
And the Illini have really been tough off the defensive board. Roy Tarpley has checked into the game for Michigan to replace, well, who did he replace? Relford, I believe.
Yeah, Relford's out of the game.
No, Relford's still in there.
Yeah,
I guess Turner is out. No, Turner. We'll get in a minute, folks. McCormick is out.
That's right.
Tarpley in for McCormick. Tarpley is sophomore from Detroit. Mentz lost his footing, hit the floor, a turnover, the ball goes to Michigan. Roy Tarpley's a 6'10 sophomore, just 195 pounds, a slender build, averaging about 9 points a game, and has been a regular starter.
Well, he's a good player, Dave. He leads the Big Ten in blocked shots and rebounding at this point in the season, so he can get some things done for you.
Look at a foul coming up here against Quinn Richardson, I believe. George Montgomery going to come back in for the Illini to replace Mentz. Mentz picks up the foul. Foul not on Quinn, it's on Scott Mentz, number 30, and Scott leaves. Montgomery, who was injured early, is coming back into the game. Should be okay. And Joubert to toss in for Michigan. This is Richard Relford over to Eric Turner. Joubert far side inside Wade. Way short with that one. Tarpley rebound, no good. Next one up in the air, and Bruce Douglas fighting for it. It'll be a Michigan ball. It was off the hands of Bruce Douglas. But Douglas battling with the trees that time with 2 players 3 or 4 inches taller than him. Joubert tosses into Eric Turner. 8-4 Illinois, 14:30 to go, first half. Tarpley tried to hit Turner underneath, and the mix-up there, he threw the ball away. Here come the Illini, leading by 4, 8-4. Douglas looking inside. Winters jockeying for position there. Instead goes Montgomery. That ball saved by Winters. They'll get it out front to Richardson, and they'll set it up.
Good job by Ephraim. Again, he didn't force the offense. He went right back outside and set it up again.
Inside Winters. Over Tarpley. And it is no good, but a foul called on Roy Tarpley.
You'll see it again, another power move by Ephraim Winters. That is where Lou Henson would like to see him get the ball. The shot didn't go, but you saw the foul, and that's 14 fouls already on Michigan, and Ephraim goes to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, Dan, you get the idea. The Illini do better, look better against teams that are as big or bigger rather than teams that are smaller, such as Ohio State and Wisconsin. Winters hits.
Well, you're right, Dave. Both those teams gave the Illini all kinds of trouble. And then some of the bigger muscular teams like Purdue, you know, they blew them out.
9-4 now. Winters with 5 points, or 7 points, and make it 8 points. Illinois 10, Michigan 4, as Winters has 8 of those 10.
There's your field goal shooting. Illinois still 80%, 4 out of 5, and Michigan cooled off considerably.
Richard Relford looking inside to Eric Turner.
Boy, Quinn Richardson's doing a nice job with Turner.
That's Gilbert missing, and Montgomery and Douglas both went up for it and lost out of bounds. Good effort anyway. It'll still be Michigan ball. 4 points for Michigan in the first 6.5 minutes.
Well, if you're Bill Frieder, you've got to be concerned. They need some scoring out of Gilbert and Turner, and they haven't gotten much.
Well, they're the only ones that have scored, but each has only 1 basket.
That's right. There's a screen for Gilbert. Now they go inside to Tarpley.
Stripped by Richardson, but they call Quinn for the foul. And Lou Henson doesn't like that call at all. That's just the second team foul on the Illini. Lou arguing with Ted Hillary on that one. Now with George Solomon. Inbounds pass from Michigan goes to Roy Tarpley, out to Eric Turner. Turner not averaging anywhere near his 20-point-a-game average of last year. He's down at 11 points. Not had as good a season as he did as a sophomore. Here's Tarpley. And he puts it in. Just short jumper to baseline by Roy Tarpley, and it's 10-6. As Michigan was able to work that ball in. Here come the Illini. Quinn Richardson with the ball. Montgomery alley-oop, winner! And a foul on Antoine Gilbert, who ended up underneath Winters.
You talk about a picture-perfect play, and you could see it coming a mile away.
The 2 big men teaming up on that one, Montgomery and Winters.
They just exchanged positions there, and George just laid it up absolutely perfectly for Winters, and you know what he can do once he gets it up there.
That was the 5th team foul on Michigan.
Got to feel sorry for Gilbert. He was definitely cut out of position that time. Well, I mean, Ephraim just came down on top of him. It was almost as if he didn't give Ephraim a chance to come down. That's why the foul was called.
Chance for the 3-point play. And Winters already in double figures with 10 points. Into the Michigan lineup is Leslie Rockymore, number 24, 6'3" junior from Detroit. And replaces Gilbert. Rockymore averaging 10.5 points a game.
Let's take another quick look at that play.
Picture proof.
There it is. The foul on Gilbert. He's out of the game, and Ephraim Winters goes for number 11.
Well, somebody wrote an article this week about how come Ephraim hasn't been scoring. One of the Chicago papers, and Ephraim had some pretty good explanations about the team concept. He was happy as long as the team was winning that he didn't have to score.
Today,
he's got 11 out of 13 right now.
He's the guy with the open shot.
And Tarpley answers with that slam, 13-8.
That's Eric Turner getting the ball down in there, too. He's your Big Ten leader in assists so far this year. He and Bruce Douglas may battle for that honor before the season's out, but Turner is not only a scorer, he's an all-around player.
Doug Altenberger with the ball. He has been quiet this afternoon. Here's Richardson. Down to the 12-minute mark of the first half. The score, Illinois 13, Michigan 8. Here's Winters. Back to Richardson. Back inside, batted away. Richardson comes up with a quick hand. Douglas up and in. And what started out as a problem for the Illini turned to their advantage as Douglas was free on the baseline and just put it up and in. 15-8. 7-point lead now for the Illini. Out of bounds, a turnover to Illinois. And timeout on the floor. 11:22 to go in the first half. The score, Illinois 15. The Illini with a 15-8 lead over Michigan. And 11 of those 15 points scored by Ephraim Winters. Getting shooting stats right now. In fact, the Illini had a cool 85%.
6 out of 7 to start. Boy, what a way to start. Michigan's 4 out of 9 so far.
Only 7 shots in the first 8 minutes.
And there are your personal fouls, so Illinois is not that far from the 1 and bonus. Tom Schaefer's come on for the Illini now, and Doug Altenberger's going to take a rest.
Tom no longer wearing the glasses, has contact lenses now. A freshman from Algonquin. Douglas, hounded by Rocky Moore, dances around, gives to Richardson. Now Winters, there's the shot. No good. Douglas up for the rebound and in. Bruce Douglas.
Well, Illinois opens up a 9-point lead. Winters has 11 points, and Douglas has 6, and that is it for Illinois. A 1-2 punch so far this afternoon.
Illinois 17, Michigan 8.
And they're doing a job on defense, too.
Leslie Rocky Moore with the ball. Now to Roy Tarpley. Too hard. Richardson in there. Went up with Richard Relford. Relford knocked it out of bounds. Relford at 6'6", 230.
And little Quinn.
And Quinn at 5'11", and 175. Relford, quite a football player. In fact, this, as you mentioned, this Michigan team not only has good basketball players, they got some great football players. Jokic on the bench was a high school All-American, went out for the Wolverine football team, decided to concentrate on basketball instead, but he hasn't seen much action on the court. Montgomery wants the ball. He's got it. Up. No good. Not a very good shot that time, and McCormick picks up the loose ball for Michigan.
And McCormick did a good job of recovering and defensively and really put some pressure on George.
Relford stolen by Douglas. Goes in against Relford, batted away. Nothing called. Down we go with Rocky Moore. Dishing to Turner up, no good. And out of bounds, Illinois. The action is hot and heavy. From baseline to baseline.
Boy. It looked like some contact on that play. Douglas did not draw the foul, and then the other end, I thought there was some contact underneath with Winters, but Rocky Moore didn't get one either, so.
They called it even at both ends.
Really letting him play.
Richardson, no good. And Schaefer's going to pick up a foul. He was climbing the back of Richard Relford. Relford and Tarpley both had position that time, and Schaefer just tried to go up from behind. The third team foul in the Illini. 9 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the first half. The Illini on top 17-8. Just 8 points for the Wolverines in the first 10.5 minutes of play. Leslie Rocky Moore all alone.
Way off.
And misses, and Montgomery rebounds for the Illini. Rocky Moore has been in a shooting slump. He had a high game of 26 points earlier this year against Rutgers. The Wolverines got off to a good start in non-conference play before dropping 2 down in Texas. Winters, perfect. Nice touch in that play, 19-8, and Winters with 13 points. We're going to see Jokic come into the game here in a minute, the big 6'8" sophomore. And Wolverines very deep in that bench. Rockemore, baseline, too hard. And rebound. McCormick comes up with it, puts it up, no good. Next one, and Winters tipped it in, looked like.
He sure did, and see the look on Ephraim's face as he comes down the floor.
There were no black jerseys around the ball.
They gave it to
Richard Relford happened to be in the vicinity, I guess, and so he gets the basket. Relford gets the 2 points, 19-10. Tarpley smacks the ball away from Montgomery, but saved by Douglas. I'll tell you, Tarpley can play some defense. He's got pretty good quick hands for a big man.
With a really long arm.
Alley-oop. Oh, boy. That's slammed by Ephraim Winters, and it's 21-10. There's Turner, batted away, Illinois ball.
George got it. The Illinois big men are doing it all right here.
A thunderous dunk by Ephraim Winters, his second of the game. Now has 15 points. 21-10 as Illinois with the ball. They threw it away. And Rocky Moore on the drive. Richardson streaks down, and Illinois with the ball. The Wolverines missed 2 shots. But credit Quinn Richardson for breaking that one up. He went streaking down the floor. And the Illini with the ball, an 11-point lead. This crowd really into it. Douglas. No good. And to the floor. Michigan ball. Michigan ball. And timeout on the floor with 6:40 to go. And the Illini with a big 11-point lead. Illinois 21, Michigan 10, back in 1 minute. Back at the Assembly Hall with Illinois with an 11-point lead. There's the pass from Douglas to Winters, and look at that one.
I want to tell you, Ephraim is broken out of whatever kind of a slump he was in.
15 points now for Ephraim Winters in the game. 15 of Illinois' 21. And the Illini lead by 11, 21-10, just 6:40 to go first half. As you look at the Illini bench, Lou Henson, assistants Bobby Hall and Dick Nagy, Jimmy Collins over there. The Illini have done some job this afternoon. 9 out of 14, 64% shooting from the field.
Well, look at Michigan's numbers. 27%, 5 out of 18.
And Leslie Rockymore takes the lid off the basket for the Wolverines with that one, 21-12. Rockymore with 2 points. Only 2 players have scored for the Illini. 15 for Winters and 6 for Bruce Douglas. Mintz tries to hit Oldenburger underneath. Douglas saves it on the baseline. Doug wearing a bandage on that thigh that he hurt against Michigan State.
With your shooting percentage, that really isn't right. Illinois is way up above that. Michigan really is not that high. They're only 27.
And Scott Mintz makes it 23-12. 5:50 to go first half. Mintz gets in the scoring column. This is Paul Jokic with the ball over to the side of Leslie Rockymore. And traveling, another turnover on the Wolverines. The Illini with the ball. Down to 5:33 to go. Let's see if Butch Wade going to come back in here for Michigan in just a moment. One player we haven't seen and we used to see a lot of is Danny Pelakoutis for the Wolverines. The former Downers Grove South high school player, played down here in the state tournament. He has not seen action yet this afternoon. In fact, he just got up off the bench as I said that. He'll be coming in. Here's Richardson. Douglas down low now for the Illini. Taking Rockymore down there. Mintz drives through, lays it up and in. Scott Mintz saw an opening and made his move as Douglas kind of cleared out that side. 25-12, 13-point lead for the Illini and 4 points for Scott Mintz.
Boy, does Jokic look like a football player.
He's kind of the Jim Rowinski of Michigan. He looked like a basketball player that time as he banged it off the backboard. 25-14. Jokic with a bucket. Four minutes, 15 seconds to go here in the first half. The Illini up by 11. Mintz into Winters. Slapped by Tarpley. Gets it off to Oldenburger and blocked by Roy Tarpley. Tarpley slapped the ball from Winters, then went over and blocked Oldenburger's shot. Into the game, Dan Pelakoutis for Michigan, and Butch Wade returns to the Wolverine lineup. But Tarpley sits down, Eric Turner sits down. The Wolverines have used 10 players in the game already. Ball kicked away by Pelakoutis. And a timeout called. That break in the action. 3:55 to go here in the first half. And it's Illinois 25, 25-14 Illinois. Here's the Scott Mintz drive.
Not a bad one-on-one move for a guy 6'10". He put it on the floor, lifted up over the defense, and got it to go. So Scott with a couple of baskets, and it's good to see him play well because he's had a couple of rough games in a row, and the crowd, you know, is really with George Montgomery these days, and he's become the Levi Cobb of this basketball team. And when Scott's in there sometimes and makes a bad play, well, the crowd gets him a little bit. But Scott's done a very good job so far this afternoon. Those 2 baskets, and now he and George are both in the game. Ephraim Winters has taken a seat.
Winters goes to the bench with 15 points so far in the game. Quinn Richardson out front. Pelakudis made a dive for that one. Quinn picks it up, drives, tries to feed underneath, and Michigan has the ball. McCormick down to Rockymore. He'll take the jumper. And wait a minute. Meanwhile,
come on, George.
A foul was called. George Solomon waiting a good 5 or 10 seconds to blow the whistle.
I think the call was correct. It looked like Douglas tripped E.T. as he went for the steal, but took George a while to decide on the call.
That's only the 4th team foul on the Illini. Michigan holding right at 5 after picking him up early. He hasn't fouled for quite a while. Pelakudis with the ball. Out of Jokic. And to the floor. Traveling finally called on Jokic. Illinois ball. Another Michigan turnover. Tom Schaefer going to come back in here for Illinois. And he'll replace Doug Altenberger. Or no, make it Quinn Richardson goes to the bench.
That sends Altenberger into the backcourt now, so he and Douglas will be the guards with Schaefer, Mintz, and Montgomery along the front line. This is kind of a different look.
I've seen this combination. Illini with 11-point lead, and they've led all the way. They were tied at 2 and tied at 4, but other than that, it's been all Illinois and all Ephraim Winters with 15 points as far as the scoring goes. He's had some great assists from Douglas and Montgomery. Here's Montgomery. Pass intercepted by Butch Wade. Rockymore puts it up. No good. Too hard. And Douglas with the loose ball. So we'll try it again with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Douglas will walk it down. Tom Schaefer now to Mintz. Scott on the baseline in trouble. Out to Douglas. Back to Mintz. Back to Douglas.
Good return pass.
And it is no good. McCormick rebounds for Michigan. Deep pass down to Jokic. He'll take it in. And blocked by Altenberger. Great play. Great play.
Boy, that got a few people out of their chairs. Let's see it again. Jokic for the jam, and Altenberger pinned it up against the glass.
And Jokic with a 4-inch height advantage over Altenberger. Looked like he was going to be uncontested. Doug came out. Oh, great pass to Douglas up, and no good. Rebound good by Schaefer. Oh. Come on, George.
Magic Montgomery.
What a pass. 27-14. The Illini now feeling their oats. 13-point lead with 1:50 to go in the first half. Leslie Rockymore out to Jokic. Jump shot. No good. Douglas rebound.
Well, that cannot be the shot Bill Frieder wants. Jokic is just not good a shooter.
Tried the alley-oop. No good, but Altenberger has the ball as it bounces off the backboard. Misconnections that time with Scott Mintz. Relford and Turner going to come back in here for the final minute of play along with Gilbert for Michigan if they get him in. Mintz jumps it. No good. Montgomery. No good. Next one into the hands of Butch Wade for Michigan. Leslie Rockymore to Butch Wade for Michigan.
Way off.
And Schaefer threw it away in the hands of Pelakudis to McCormick for the stop. Now Schaefer had the rebound, but gave it right back to Michigan. It's 27-16.
Did a great job of getting the rebound, but there's the return pass after the steal, and McCormick had no problem.
50 seconds to go in the first half. It looked like the Wolverines going to get those 3 substitutes in this half. Douglas. Now Doug Altenberger, scoreless in the first half is Doug.
Illini try to burn that clock. It's down to 17 seconds. Going for the final shot and maybe a 13-point lead.
10 seconds to go. Inside Montgomery, slapped away, and a foul call, and Pelikutis. Only the 16th foul, so there'll be no shots. Here comes Gilbert, Turner, and Relford back into the game for Michigan. Rocky Moore is going out. Pelikutis goes to the bench.
There's George's move inside. You see the reaching by 32, Pelikutis.
Jokic goes out. All this for the final 7 seconds of play. Winters is in to replace Montgomery.
We get Quinn Richardson.
Jockeying around here on this final. That'll be the final play of the half.
Tom Schaefer's going to check out, so Illinois gets its best shooting 5 players in the game with 7 seconds to go in the first half.
27-16 Illinois. Altenberger inbounds and gets in the mints. 5 seconds. Back to Altenberger, and no good. Block. Nothing called, and that's going to be it for the first half. The clock runs down. The clock runs down to the end of the first half. Let's see that last play again.
Great pass by Mintz, and a great block by Butch Wade.
Butch Wade with a block that time, and the Illini will have to settle for an 11-point lead. At the end of the first half of play, an impressive first half turned in by the Illini. They lead the Wolverines 27-16. Told you about earlier, Illinois shooting 52% to Michigan's 32% from the field. And Michigan has yet to go to the free throw line this afternoon. The Illini holding an edge on the boards. Score from West Lafayette, Purdue leading Michigan State by 11, 32-21 with a minute to go in the first half.
That's right.
And that's the game the Illini fans are looking at closely because Illini and Purdue tied for the lead in the Big Ten. Some Michigan fans here at the Assembly Hall, numbered among the nearly 16,000 on hand. And this place is filled almost to the top, maybe one row across the top. Empty.
You know what's interesting about this first place tie between Illinois and Purdue is the fact that they're traveling partners and they play the same schools every week. So you really get a chance to keep a close eye on that race as long as those two teams, or any two teams, in fact, that travel together, are on top, because you always know who they're going to be playing.
Well, we talked about the Illinois balanced scoring coming into this game, but it was not balanced in the first half as Ephraim Winters had 15 and the Illini 27 points. And the last 5 games, after scoring 20 and 22 against Missouri and Minnesota, Winters then went to 6, 11, 12, 8, and 10 in his next 5 games. So he's broken out of that scoring slump today, but gives some credit also to some fine passing from his teammates that have set up a couple of thunderous jams here this afternoon. Starting the second half for the Wolverines, Eric Turner and Dan Pelikutis at the guards, Tim McCormick, Butch Wade, and Richard Relford across the front line for the Wolverines. And for the Illini, they have the starting lineup in there: Richardson, Douglas, Altenberger, Montgomery, and Winters. As we have the second half underway, Michigan with the ball. The Wolverines stayed in the locker room. Still a waning seconds at halftime. So Bill Frieder must have had some good words for them. There's Turner working for the shot, picks up, draws the foul from Bruce Douglas, and 2 shots coming up here for E.T.
There's a look at the foul, a nice little pump by E.T. in there. And I'll tell you what, Michigan's come out with a lot of movement on offense. Boy, this is always a key part of the basketball game, the first few minutes of the second half, to see which team gets back into the flow of the game first. And Michigan's really moving well down there on offense.
Here's Michigan's first free throw of the afternoon, and Turner with 2 points in the game. Makes it. He's a 71% free throw shooter, averaging 11 points a game out of Flint Central. Certainly ranked as one of the top guards in the conference, if not in the country. Makes them both. And it's 27-18. And Michigan's going to put on the pressure. Douglas clears to Altenberger. Takes it down. All the way up and good. Doug Altenberger has his first points of the game. It's 29-18. Winters was back there with McCormick, and Altenberger just took it in himself. It's McCormick with the ball now to Richard Relford. He drives up and good.
Good shot.
So the Wolverines close it to 9, 29-20. As the second half scoring off to a much quicker pace than the first half was. just way short with that jumper. And Turner down the middle, looking both ways, hits the floor, traveling. Boy, he had his eyes going all sorts of ways that time, looking for someone to pass to, and just pulled up short.
Did he ever? I thought he was going to pull up and shoot it. I thought he was trying to look off some of the defensive guys, but he finally just lost his footing. Michigan's made an adjustment on defense to try to cool Winters off. They got 6'10" Tim McCormick on him.
Montgomery.
So that's what happens. They go right back inside at George instead, and he gets a chance for a three-point play.
And Butch Wade picks up the foul, and that'll be his third.
There it is again. After the pass, and a good one it was. George up strong and fouled by Butch Wade, and Big G goes to the free throw line, and this is one of the favorite parts of the game, I think, for the crowd.
In a game that hasn't seen many fouls, Wade has 3 of them. So here's Big George. He makes.
Good-looking free throw by George Montgomery.
And he delighted the crowd with that one.
Well, they agonize with his every miss from that foul strike.
12-point lead for the Illini. We played a minute and a half here in the second half. Pelakoutas goes to Wade. High off the glass and in. 32-22. Montgomery to Altenberger. And taken away by Pelakoutas. Crowd wanted a foul. McCormick just bowled his way in there and put it in. 32-24. This Michigan offense will really come alive here in the second half.
Well, they have hit some very difficult shots down there. Wade and McCormick hit one. And all of a sudden, the Wolverines are back in it.
There's Montgomery, and he put it in, and he'll count.
And Wade got him again, and that's number 4 on Butch. So George just put it on the floor and took it to the glass. They pointed at Butch Wade. I don't think it was Wade.
I think Pelakoutas was the man that was underneath him.
But they gave it to Wade, and that's number 4.
4 fouls on Butch Wade. As a team, Michigan only has 8 in the game. Tarpley comes back in to replace Wade. Wade at 6'8", 230-pound sophomore. He's a big kid. And George goes to the line. A chance for another three-point play. He was scoreless in the first half, and he has 6 points here in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. Illinois 35, Michigan 24. So the Illini have been trading the Wolverines 3 for 2 here the last 2 times down the floor. Dan Pelakoutas from Downers Grove.
Well, Michigan is just so much more active on offense in the second half than they were in the first.
Richard Relford. And he cammed that jumper. 35-26. Lead back to 9 again.
Sure doesn't look like a team that shot 32% from the floor in the first half.
Quinn Richardson open.
Quinn's first shot of the night goes down.
37-26.
I should say the afternoon.
Hear those referees saying, watch your hands underneath there. Pelakoutas bounces off Winters, gets it to Relford. There's that shot again. And Richard Relford with the nice touch. 37-28. Well, Michigan had a recruiting bonanza the same year Illinois did when the Illini were bringing in Douglas and Winters and Altenberger. Michigan was bringing in a fine freshman group in Relford, Wade, and Tarpley. Altenberger is fouled underneath. They'll get 2 shots.
Richard Relford got the foul. Just another strong move, a good post up inside by Altenberger. Gave it the pump fake, and there you see the foul.
So Doug Altenberger to the line for 2 shots. He is a 75% free throw shooter. First shot is good. 38-28. Illinois had an 11-point lead at halftime, and they've held on to about that margin here in the second half. One more here for Douglas. And made that one. And we have a timeout on the floor with 16 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the game. They score. Illinois 39 and Michigan 28. Let's hold it here. Had the whistle for the timeout and no timeout. Michigan ball. Pellicutis threw it away. Now the timeout with 15:52 to go, and the Illini up by 11, 39-28. Michigan certainly has shown a different offense here in the second half. Here's part of it. Tim McCormick making that power move to the bucket against 2 Illini defenders, including Ephraim Winters. Illini 39, Michigan 28. 11-point lead here. The Illinois ball. Scott Mintz into the game, replacing Altenberger. And Michigan's quickly got their shooting up to 43% after shooting 32% in the first half. Both teams perfect from the foul line, 9 out of 9 combined. Illini shooting 57%, 16 out of 28 for the game. 15,952 the attendance here this afternoon, just about a sellout. Ephraim Winters, who had 15 points in the first half and hasn't taken a shot here in the second half. Douglas gets that ball back and to the floor, saves it to Winters. Drive, up, no good. Rebound off to Montgomery. That shot no good, and Michigan has the next one. Tarpley and McCormick rebounding for the Wolverines.
Boy, look at Winters and
Tarpley.
Tarpley's got his elbow and Winters' neck.
Relford off on that one, and Montgomery has the rebound. And if he wouldn't have had it, Winters would have had the rebound. They were both there.
They were all inside. We'll update you on that Purdue game now. The Boilers leading Michigan State now by 15 points, 42-27 with 16 minutes left. So it looks like Purdue's going to go to 6-1.
They've rebounded nicely from that drubbing they took from the Illini last Saturday. Montgomery could get the handle of the ball, and it'll be Michigan ball. Purdue bounced back with a victory over Michigan on Thursday. And now they're handling the Spartans of Michigan State today. Antoine Joubert back in the lineup for Michigan, replaced Richard Relford. Joubert, one of the leading scorers in the history of Michigan high school basketball. And he was in the big school class, the Class A up there. He played at Detroit Southwestern, which is the same school. In fact, he was a teammate at one time of Leslie Rockymore.
Well, what a backcourt that must have been.
Oh. Turner with the ball for Michigan. Cross court to Pellicutis. And he hits from the deep corner. Dan Pellicutis makes it 39-30. That's his first 2 points of the game. With 14 minutes to go, the Illini bring it down. Richardson rims it, and Tarpley rebounds for Michigan. Eric Turner dishes to Antoine Joubert, but the Illini are back on defense, so Michigan goes to Pellicutis. And from the right side, he hits. 2 quick baskets by Pellicutis. It's 39-32, a 7-point lead. As the Michigan offense has really picked up here in the second half.
They look really good on that end of the floor. What a turnaround.
Montgomery to Altenberger inside. Going to have an offensive foul on Doug Altenberger. And credit Pellicutis for causing problems on that one.
There's a pass, and actually Doug caught that ball in a pretty bad spot. It's kind of a tough pass for Montgomery to make.
Kind of forced inside that time. So Michigan now with a chance to cut it to 5. Turner underneath Tarpley, great play. Good pass by Eric Turner. And Tarpley cuts it to 5, 39-34.
Here's the dish off. Boy, I'll tell you, Turner can penetrate and pass it. And just a little flip for Tarpley. Illinois needs a basket.
Douglas comes up short, into the hands of Montgomery. He puts it up and in. A big play for Montgomery. And for the Illini, 41-34, because might help to break the Michigan momentum here a little bit. Douglas came up short of the jumper. Montgomery rebounded and put it in. And that's Eric Turner in the baseline, taking the quick pass from Pelakudis. 41-36. My, how the shooting has improved for Michigan this second half. Montgomery again. No good. Winters up high, no good. Douglas rebounds up and no good. Montgomery no good. Next one. Illinois, Montgomery. Foul.
Boy, you talk about some work on the offensive boards.
McCormick got the foul, but that was quite a sequence. Watch this.
Winters almost had the jam tip. Douglas got the ball back. You're going to see him miss, and watch Montgomery go after this rebound.
That's no place for the faint of heart right there, folks.
Winters, Montgomery, and when George finally controls this ball, he gets fouled. And a good little pump fake right there, up
Good
and
move.
2 free throws for George, who's made 2 out of 2 this afternoon.
Butch Wade back into the game for Michigan, carrying 4 personal fouls. McCormick leaves. And George Montgomery at the free throw line. And no good. So he breaks his 2-for-2 streak. This occurs with 11:52 to go in the game. Illinois on top, 41-36. Shot by Montgomery. This one's good. And a timeout. 11:52 remain. Illinois 42, Michigan 36. We're back in 1 minute. Illinois 42, Michigan 36. Going to see a little of the action underneath. Watch this.
Tarpley and Ephraim Winters. Watch Tarpley get that elbow up. They list him at 6'10". He looks really a couple 3 inches taller than Winters inside. It's a physical game, this game of college basketball.
And now Michigan's shooting is up to 48%. Illinois down to 50%, 17 out of 34. Illini 9 turnovers in the game to Michigan's 8.
The Illini are going to try a little zone here to cool off Michigan. Kind of a 1-2-2 set with Bruce Douglas out in front.
Well, Michigan's got a couple of guys who can break that zone, Joubert and Turner.
And remember, it's tougher to rebound out of a zone too, so the Illini are going to have to worry about getting good position.
There's Joubert. Dishes off and back to Joubert.
Pretty active zone by the Illini so far. No really good shots there yet for Michigan.
Butch Wade back to Joubert.
Well, with Joubert, Turner, and Pelakudis in there, you got 3 good ones.
There's Turner missing and rebound Winters. And just what you were saying, Illini gets the rebound. Here's Winters. Doesn't drop. Rebound. A foul on Michigan.
Butch Wade, and he's gone. I think.
5 fouls if Wade is the culprit.
Here's another look.
And
Ephraim Winters going after his own miss. There's the foul. Wade got him on the arm, and it's goodbye for Butch.
Butch Wade out of the game with 5 personal fouls. As I mentioned, his team just has 11 for the game, so he had just about half the Michigan total.
Unlike some teams, though, Michigan really can afford to lose a guy like that. They have a clone on the bench just about waiting for him to come in. They've got Relford. Jokic is still sitting back there. They've got a lot of big forwards to play.
Scott Mintz into the game to replace Richardson. The Illini with a tall lineup in there now. Montgomery, Mintz, Winters, Altenberger, and Douglas. That's about as big as Illinois could get.
That's right.
Unless Schaefer would replace Altenberger. Douglas underneath. Montgomery dropped it.
Good idea. Douglas anticipated the break by George, but George didn't get his hands on the ball.
Pelakudis open for the shot. Too hard. And Winters with great position. Uses that body well and hauls down the rebound.
And don't forget, he's working against the Big Ten's leading rebounder in Tarpley. He just blocked him right off the glass, and the last 2 rebounds have been all effort.
10 minutes to go in the game, and Scott Mintz misses way off on that one. And Michigan has the ball.
Watch out here.
Turner drives all the way. Eric Turner took it all the way that time, and it's 42-38. A 4-point lead now. 9:45 to go. Montgomery drive. Blocked by Tarpley.
Boy, what a beautiful defensive play.
Tarpley saw that one coming, and he was ready. So now Michigan with a chance to pull within 2 points.
Illinois puts Mintz on top of the zone now to try to harass some of that outside shooting.
Joe Frieder off the bench, shouting some instructions to Pelakudis as they set it up here. 9 minutes to go, first half, or in second half. And Gilbert hits the jumper. 42-40. Down to a 2-point lead. And what was 11-point lead at halftime has now dwindled to 2. That's 4 points for Gilbert, and Illinois wants a timeout. 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Illini 42, Michigan 40. We're back in 1 minute. Now Michigan has picked up the pace at both ends of the floor. You can see him here on defense as Tarpley bats away George Montgomery's intended drive.
That's a heck of a play. You know, that happens very often, Dave. You see a team pick up the intensity on one end of the floor like Michigan did starting the second half on offense. It makes you want to play defense a little bit harder, too, when some of those shots start to drop.
Well, Pelakudis in there, who did not play much in the first half, is a good floor leader along with Turner. And he has seemed to help the Michigan offense quite a bit. Richardson back in the game to replace Scott Mintz.
There's not much question about which way this game is heading. Illinois is going to have to do something to turn it back around.
Turn the tide. Winters with 15 first half points, scoreless here in the second half.
He's only had 1 shot.
And just about lost the ball there. Altenberger with a save. Takes the jumper from the corner and hit.
Well, you can hear that net pop all the way at half court.
Not only did he come up with a loose ball, making a save there, he just turns around and fires it in from the corner, and it's 44-40.
Big basket by Doug Altenberger. Now Illinois has gone back to the man-to-man, and again, Tarpley and Winters going at it pretty hard here on the near side.
Tim McCormick with the ball, takes the jumper, and he hits. 44-42. Everything that's going up there now in the Michigan end is going in. McCormick now has 6 points. And a foul called. Away from play, and it's on Ephraim Winters. So now the Wolverines with a chance to tie it up as the Illini pick up the 3rd team foul of the second half. For Winters, his first foul of the game. The Illini have only had 7 fouls the whole game. So Michigan with the ball and with momentum here in the second half. They've really been moving on offense. Pelakudis to Gilbert. Turner to McCormick. Now Gilbert pulls up with a jumper. No good. Rebound out of bounds off Tarpley, and it's Illinois ball.
The Illini got a break. Tarpley and McCormick were down there inside. They had good position, too, but they both kind of knocked it out of bounds. So
McCormick at 6'11", and Tarpley at 6'10". The twin towers in there for Michigan. Here's Altenberger driving. Back to Douglas. Montgomery, who has 9 points here in the second half. Altenberger, too hard. And Pellikudis had it, lost it. Illinois ball. Break for the Illini.
Altenberger had a good shot, never really got his hands on the ball. And look at this. That stat can't be right, can it? And Michigan shooting 85% from the floor in this half.
This half, yeah. I believe it.
They haven't missed often.
And they've been all kinds of shots from all points of the floor. Here's Altenberger trying it again. This time, no good. McCormick has the rebound for Michigan to Turner. 44-42, the chance to tie here for the Wolverines. Foul on Tarpley, jockeying for position with Winters.
No question about this one. Winters just pushed off as you see Tarpley's arm go out, and the official Hillary right there on the call. So back we come the other way, and still Michigan has not been able to tie it up.
6 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the game. Illinois 44, Michigan 42. Jokic going to come back in here for Michigan in a second. Montgomery, beautiful dish to Altenberger out of bounds to the Illinois ball. McCormick knocked it out.
Well, check Montgomery's pass this time to the cutter inside Altenberger. Just a beauty, but Michigan got there. McCormick knocked it out of bounds.
Richard Relford back in the game, replaced Gilbert, and Tarpley is out. Paul Jokic is in for Michigan. They don't lose much size on that exchange. Only 2 points from the Illinois guards here in the second half. Winters jumping it. No good. And into the hands of Altenberger again. Doug coming up with a loose ball. Right place at the right time.
Well, for Illinois, the odds are with you. I think they've got to score one of these times. They've had probably 5 or 6 possessions that have not gotten a point out of them.
Clock down to 5:20 to go. Foul on Richard Relford. That's the 7th team foul we have for Michigan. So she has some free throws coming up here. Yes.
There it is right there. Altenberger's got the quickness advantage on Relford, no question.
And Altenberger is 2 out of 2 at the line this afternoon with 6 points.
Would not be a bad way to build that lead up a little bit. Got to make the first. 1 in bonus for Altenberger, with Illinois trying to hang on to a 2-point lead.
That one's perfect, 45-42.
Doug has 7 points now, trying for 8. 5:19 to play.
Sophomore from Peoria Richwood. Connect. 46-42. Lead back to 4.
The crowd trying to whip Illinois up on defense.
And we're headed towards the final 5 minutes of play. The Illini leading by 4. And a timeout for Michigan. Bill Frieder off the bench wants a timeout with 5:03 to go in the game. It's Illinois 46, Michigan 42. We'll be back in 1 minute. Illinois leading by 4. The Illini have not trailed in this basketball game. They led by 11 at halftime, 27-16. And they're holding on to the 4-point advantage here as Michigan will have the ball after that timeout. Check the Wolverines lineup. Turner, Pellikudis, Relford, McCormick, and Jokic. And believe it or not, Dan, the Wolverines are now shooting better for the game than the Illini. They have 48% from the field. Illinois has dipped down to 40%.
The Illini have missed a bunch in the second half.
The Illini had a big advantage at halftime, 52-32.
Well, it's just gone completely the opposite. Now the Illini are just trying to hang on. Trying to pop Relford out behind a double pick, but Altenberger got there. Now they try to circle him for the lob, but Doug's back again.
Eric Turner. And Altenberger broke that one up off Doug's hand. Relford almost touched it. Had a notion. So Turner will inbounds for Michigan. He and Relford share scoring honors for the Wolverines, 8 points each. Turner from the corner. Bingo, 46-44. Eric Turner with 10 points. And Michigan putting pressure now on the Illini. Douglas to Richardson. And overthrew his man. And McCormick has the ball and is fouled by Altenberger as Doug hits the floor. So now Michigan will have the ball and a chance to tie again. There's the overthrow, and McCormick comes up with the ball. That's only the 4th team foul. So it'll be Wolverines ball out of bounds. Lou Henson off the bench. .4:28 to go. There's the shooting now, 49% to 41%.
With numbers like that, you don't generally win games. But Illinois is still hanging on to that 2-point lead.
Michigan offense has come alive here in the second half. There's Turner again. And again he hits. Eric Turner ties it at 46. 4 minutes to go. Illini again trying to move against the Michigan pressure. Richardson having trouble. Finally clears to Montgomery. So Illinois with the ball, and a score tied for the first time since very early in the first half. 46 to 46.
Well, Michigan is doing a great job on defense, and Tim McCormick in particular. Ephraim Winters does not have a point in the second half after 15 in the first half. And it's not that he's missed a bunch of shots, Dave, either. He just hasn't gotten any shots.
Clock is down now to 3:20 to go in the game. Tied at 46.
Illinois is looking for the very high percentage shot here.
Illini just moving that ball around and supposed to be outside, and that ball almost taken away. Montgomery finally gets it back.
.250 now. Illinois has run off about 45 seconds.
They had a foul on Jokic over Montgomery's shoulders, and from Michigan's point of view, that's the man to foul.
Absolutely.
Joe Barry going to come back in here for the Wolverines, and he will replace Richard Relford. The big free throws coming up here for the big man, George Montgomery.
Well, at some point in the season, you knew it would come down to this. A tie game with George Montgomery standing at the free throw line, faced with a couple of free throws that he really needs to make.
9 points in the game, all of them in the second half for George Montgomery. The shot is no good. Rebound, it is Michigan. Pelicuda saves to Turner. Now the Wolverines with a chance to take the lead following a missed free throw by George Montgomery. 2:30 to go. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Illinois is not trailed in the game, and led by 11 at halftime.
Turner's trying to post up on Douglas. He's got it in pretty good shooting position there, but kicked it back to Pelicuda. The pressure is on Illinois.
Clock is down now to 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go. Now we're down to minute 45 as Michigan works that ball around. The Illini have 4 fouls here in the second half, so they can afford a foul here without sending Michigan to the line. In fact, a couple of them. Clock is down to a minute 30 to go. So hang on. This one's going all the way down. Eric Turner, his 2 baskets, have brought the Wolverines to dead even with the Illini. The clock now down to 1 minute to go. And it's almost slapped away by Richardson. Save back to McCormick for the Wolverines. And a jump ball. Jump ball.
Nope.
No, foul call.
Montgomery nods his head okay. No big problem. That's
But,
just Georgia's first foul and still
No
no free
shots.
throws.
No shots for Michigan because they're not in the 1-on-1. 46 seconds to go. And going to take a breather here with a timeout. Timeout on the floor. 46 seconds to go, and the score tied at 46. And we'll be back after these words. That was a good number for the lottery today, Dan. 46. We got 46 seconds remaining in regulation play. And we're tied at 46. Michigan 46, the Illini 46, and Michigan will have the basketball. This break follows the foul by Montgomery, the 5th team foul for the Illini. Tony Weisinger into the game to replace Montgomery. Give the Illini a little free throw protection there in case there's a foul. Because Montgomery went to the line just a moment ago and missed.
Well, Michigan's made some changes, too. Rocky Moore's in the game. Jokic is out, so they have a
He's
better
their
shooting,
shooter.
but
Right.
smaller team in there,
Right.
too. One thing in Illinois' favor, the arrow on any held ball will point toward their end of the floor, so they're going to get the ball if it turns into a jump ball situation. But right now, Michigan would appear to have the upper hand with the ball and the game tied here.
They sure do. Coming from 11 points behind, it tied up. Gobert going to toss it in. Maybe. And he lost the ball. He could not get it in. They tried to call timeout, but it was too late.
Richie Weiler made a good call. Let me tell you how that works now. Don't forget, the 5 seconds does not stop until the ball hits the guy's hands who is inbounds to receive the pass.
Right.
So there was another second that went off on the Weiler's count between the time the ball was inbounded by Jobert and the time Pelakoutas caught it.
So Illinois now gets the upper hand, maybe. 44 seconds, 2 seconds off the clock.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't either.
It shouldn't have happened at all.
Clock now reads 44 seconds to go. Oldenburger in there from winners. And Illinois with the ball.
No pressure by Michigan. Now it may come down to one shot.
You can see the clock up in the center of your screen. 35 seconds to go. Tony Weisinger to Douglas. The clock down at 25 seconds. A tie score, 46-46. Going to come down to one shot here. And Illinois wants a timeout. A timeout on the floor, and we will keep it here with 15 seconds to go. A big turnover against the Wolverines as they could not get the ball in against the Illini with 46 seconds remaining. And that stands right now as the biggest play of the game.
Well, there is no question about that. Illinois has seemed to be able to find a way, Dave, to win these kind of games all season long. But, boy, they played super defense on the inbounds play. But I still have to wonder what happened when 2 seconds tick off the clock.
And you wonder, you had the freshman Jobert tossing the ball in. And you wonder if a more experienced player might have been able to do a different job on it. The Illini simply left Jobert alone and went after everybody else, and Jobert just couldn't get the ball in time.
We might need to get a clarification on that call. I saw Richie Weiler moving his hand from side to side as if it were an over and back violation. I'm not so sure. Maybe Pelakoutas didn't come in from out of bounds to get the ball, or that Jobert might not have stepped on the line as he threw it in. And I don't think 5 seconds went off.
Okay.
And with the clock ticking down to, that might explain it.
Okay.
But at any rate, Illinois got it back, ran it down to 15, and that's where we are now. They have it with a chance to win the game with a final shot.
Bill Frieder talking to Weiler again right now, probably getting a clarification on that call. As with the clock ticking off 2 seconds, something had to happen.
Whatever
But
it was good for Illinois.
Yeah, now we're down to 15 seconds as the Illini break from that timeout and set things up with Oldenburger, Douglas, Richardson, Weisinger, and Winters. Inbounds, Oldenburger into Weisinger. The clock down to 10 seconds to go. Weisinger driving. puts up the short jumper. It is not go. Michigan rebounds. And they get the timeout with 3 seconds to go. So Tony Y took it down to the baseline and put up the short jumper. It hit the rim, but would not go in.
It wasn't what Illinois wanted to do in this situation, but I'll tell you this, it wasn't a half bad shot that Tony got.
No.
He was one-on-one with Eric Turner. He pulled up, turned around, and shot it kind of fading away, but you get a chance to see it again right here where he really got off a pretty good shot, and it almost bounced in. Here it is.
And that ball hit the rim, bounced straight up, and went off. And with 3 seconds to go, Michigan got the timeout. So now the Wolverines will get that last shot chance. They have not led in the game.
And don't forget that Illinois still has just 5 team fouls, so they still have a foul to waste. If somebody gets into a breakaway situation somehow, Illinois could avoid making an intentional foul and commit just a straight personal. They could force Michigan to take the ball out of bounds again without sending them to the free throw line.
Montgomery back into the game for the Illini to play defense. And both teams now break the huddles. Michigan has set up its final play. Who will take the final shot?
And don't forget, they have 90 feet to go, too. They are all the way underneath their own basket.
They have 3 fine outside shooters in Rocky Moore, Turner, and Gilbert. McCormick is the only big man in there.
If Illinois forces it forward, forces them to come to the ball to catch it, they should be able to get rid of these 3 seconds.
Palakudis will toss it in. And in it goes with 2 seconds. 1, and a foul called on Douglas, but that will not.
It doesn't make any difference anyway.
Any difference. The foul on Douglas.
You heard the horn go.
They're not in the 1-and-1. Time expired, and we're going to go to overtime.
That's it.
We have an overtime period. There was the foul on Douglas, but no shots because the Illini had not yet got into the 1-and-1. So a 5-minute overtime is ahead of us. Well, we knew this was going to be an interesting game. It was an interesting first half. Unfortunately, the interesting part of the second half was Michigan's play. They came from behind, 11 points from behind. Mainly on vastly improved shooting over the first half.
We should get some numbers here before too long. And Michigan has been phenomenal in the second half from the field. Eric Turner made 1 basket in the first half, hit 4 and 2 free throws in the second, so he has 12 points. He offensively is responsible for the comeback as much as anybody, but on defense, give it to Tim McCormick, who held Ephraim Winters to zip in that second half after a 15-point first half.
This will be the 3rd overtime game that Illinois has played in this year. They won at Wisconsin 63-62, and they lost at Indiana 73-68. And I have not checked Michigan's performance in overtime this year. Indeed, if they have been in overtime. No indication they played any overtime games this year. They've had some close losses in that Texas tournament. They lost to Texas El Paso 72-71. They lost to Texas Tech 59-58. And they lost to Ohio State by just 2 points. So they've had some narrow losses throughout the season, those 5 defeats. Starting the second half for Michigan, Tarpley, McCormick, Gilbert, Turner, and Pelakudis. And for the Illini, their starting lineup for the game: Douglas, Richardson, Altenberger, Winters, and Montgomery. The tip to start the overtime goes to Quinn Richardson. So the Illini will have the ball. 5-minute overtime, tied at 46. Bruce Douglas misses, and a rebound to Tim McCormick. So the Illini cold shooting prevails into overtime. They slipped down to 40% for the regulation game, while Michigan shot 51%. They were only 32% in the first half. Douglas almost had the steal. He knocks it out of bounds. Ephraim Winters, who had 15 points in the first half, did not score in the second half. still leading scorer for the game. Eric Turner with 12. This is the overtime period, 46-46. McCormick. And they got that position in the baseline, just laid it in, and Michigan has the lead for the first time in this game. They never led in regulation time. And they lead here 48-46 on the basket by McCormick. The Illini needs some points. Illinois with just 19 second half points. Richardson dishes to Alberger for the jumper. And it's in. It didn't want to go in, but it did. Halfway down, out, and then back in. 48-48, we're tied again. Now the Illini need the basketball. McCormick again. And this time Montgomery has the rebound, and McCormick missed. 3 minutes to go in the overtime. And we got a foul coming up underneath. And McCormick's going to pick it up, I believe. It should be Winters going to the line.
It will be. And if you're going to foul somebody on Illinois' team, if you're Michigan, that is not one of the guys you choose to pick. Ephraim's a pretty good free throw shooter.
Richard Relford off the bench for Michigan will come in to replace Gilbert. Remember more action from the Illini Thursday night from Iowa City as the Illini go against the Hawkeyes. Winters trying to put Illinois on top here in the overtime, and he doesn't. Missed the free throw, and Michigan ball. Eric Turner goes all the way down to the baseline. Back to Pellikudis. One-on-one opportunity missed, and a blocking foul on the Illini on George Montgomery, and Eric Turner will go to the line.
George almost got there, but didn't quite get set.
17 fouls will send Eric Turner to the line. A chance to give Michigan the lead again. Free throw shooting again cost the Illini. Montgomery missed a crucial one in regulation time, and Winters has missed here in the overtime.
Turner shot Michigan's only 2 free throws in the second half. Now he gets the 1-and-1.
And there are only 2 free throws in the game. He makes. And it's Michigan 49, Illinois 48. Two minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the overtime. No good. And a rebound. Illinois will get it. Woohoo. Off the Michigan hand. So now with a 1-point lead for Michigan, the Illini bring the ball down. Off the Michigan hand. So now with a 1-point lead for Michigan, the Illini bring the ball down. Winters. He hit his first basket since the first half. And it's 50-49. Illinois has regained the lead with 2 minutes to go here in the overtime.
And they will fall back into a zone. Trying to cut down that penetration by Turner and force Michigan to shoot it from outside, and they want to come back and take the lead.
Well, Turner was the man who shot it from outside before and brought him from behind. And Frieder wants a timeout. and gets it. Michigan gets the timeout with 1:44 to go in the overtime. The score, Illinois 50 and Michigan 49. A minute 44 to go in the overtime. And Illinois now with a 50-49 lead. After the basket by Ephraim Winters. Michigan ball. Gilbert into McCormick, down to Pelikutis. And Gilbert is back in the game for Michigan.
Illinois ditches that zone defense. They're back to man-to-man. And Bruce Douglas has Eric Turner down on the baseline.
I need that basketball. That's a 1-point lead. Pelikutis drives in. Dishes off to Turner. Saved to McCormick. Take it away. The Wolverines got in trouble down there in the baseline and eventually coughed it up. So the Illini have it with 1:10 to go.
They're going straight to the delay game. Don't forget Montgomery's in there.
And Lou Henson wants to take care of that right now.
That's exactly right. Tony Y is on his way to the scorer's table.
That timeout called with 1:03 to go in overtime. And the Illini holding on to the 50-49 lead. Well, I haven't seen Weisinger go in yet. We'll see if he'll make the change. There he goes. Here's the steal. As the Wolverines got into all kinds of problems, and Altenberger finally ended up with the ball. The initial pass by Pelikutis caught Eric Turner by surprise. He saved it from going out of bounds, but the Illini came up with it.
Yeah, McCormick had his hands on it, but I think Richardson got a hand in there and knocked it loose, too. And as happened so many times, Doug Altenberger had his hands on the loose ball. And now the Illini are in the commanding position with a 1-point lead and the basketball and 1:03 to play in overtime.
Well, two things. They got to protect the basketball, then they have to shoot the free throws. And Illinois 10 out of 13 from the line, but that doesn't show the opportunities missed in the 1-and-1 where they missed the first opportunity and don't even get a second crack.
That's right. That happened on 2 different occasions. One of those being in regulation time when George Montgomery missed, and then in overtime when Winters missed the first of a 1-and-1.
Well, it's been a season where the Illini have been able to come out on top of these kind of contests. 14-2 season record. And they're being put to the test here this afternoon after leading by 11 points at halftime. We're into overtime with 1:03 to go. 50-49 Illinois, and the Illini will have the ball. Weisinger indeed is in for George Montgomery. So we got the scooter line in there for the Illini. Winters the only big man left. There's a situation that faced Michigan in regulation time when they had the turnover, but the Illini get it in. Richardson is fouled immediately by Pelikutis. So now, Quinn Richardson, a 5th-year senior from Robbins, Illinois, to the line. Montgomery back in to replace Weisinger. Quinn has 2 points in the game. Coming in the second half of regulation play. So Richardson at the line, he's a 77% free throw shooter. That is good. In fact, it's perfect. 51-49. Here's a big one right here to give the Illini a 3-point lead. Good. 52-49. Indeed, the Illini have the 3-point lead, and Michigan with the ball.
Now you know it's going to be a zone this time.
They got to go to work now. The Wolverines do on offense. Pelikutis back to Rocky Moore.
45 seconds now. Michigan doesn't have a lot of time to wait.
Turner to McCormick. Up and no good. His block with a foul. We'll send him to the line with 2 shots. But it saved the basket because McCormick had that lane and got clobbered.
Winters came over the top. Montgomery was inside, and I'm not so sure George didn't get the foul. McCormick will get 2 shots. Montgomery did get the foul.
His 3rd foul. All of this with 41 seconds to go in the overtime, and McCormick to the line. He's a 64% free throw shooter. A good foul that time because he was going for 2.
That's one of the reasons you go into the zone, Dave, at that particular point in the game, to cut down that penetration. You get some more defensive help in that zone, but boy, Turner sneaked in there anyway and then made a nice dish off to McCormick.
Weisinger in to replace Montgomery. I'll tell you, nobody's left the assembly hall. 15,942 here.
Winters is trying to get matched up with Tarpley down there under the boards, and Tarpley keeps switching lanes every time Winters goes over to stand next to him.
It's like the Virginia reel down there. There we go.
Finally, they got it straightened out.
McCormick with 2 shots coming up. Has 8 points for the game, including 2 here in the overtime period. Makes McCormick a player who has had surgery on both knees, but has come back here in the last 2 years and makes both free throws. So now it's 52-51. There'll be pressure on the inbounds pass. Here goes to Douglas, to Weisinger, and clears midcourt. Dishes to Altenberger. They'll set it up outside. 33 seconds. You can see it on the clock there. And Richardson's fouled by Turner. So again, Quinn will get the chance to cash in at the free throw line as Montgomery comes back in to replace Weisinger. Exactly 30 seconds to go in the overtime. With Quinn Richardson at the line, Illinois leading 52-51.
Boy, those are just perfect.
They are perfect. No doubt about them.
And when that first one goes in, that rim gets about a foot bigger on the inside when you stand up there to shoot the second one.
53-51, Illinois. 54-51, Illinois. The clock running with 25 seconds to go. Pelakoutis all the way down and makes it, and a foul.
It's on Pelakoutis. Ephraim will shoot free throws on the other end, and boy, it's a 1-point game just like that.
And if that foul had gone the other way, the Wolverines could have tied, but the foul coming after the shot, the basket counting, and Winters to shoot free throws. That took just 6 seconds.
Well, Illinois did not do a good job of getting back on defense. They allowed Pelakoutis to get right down there and split the zone. The zone really never got set up. They didn't retreat fast enough after Richardson made his free throw.
54-53 as Winters goes to the line. He's already missed 1 opportunity here in overtime.
3 out of 4 for the game. Made 3 in a row in the first half. Ephraim has 17 points, and if he can run that total to 19. No. They're trying to get Montgomery to the free throw line now, and that is not correct. Pelakoutis is trying to get the switch made, but it's not going to happen.
It will be Ephraim Winters with a 1-and-1. That one's perfect. 55-53. The Big E with 18 points in the ballgame. $15 of them in the first half.
If he misses, Illinois will try to tip it back out front to Richardson.
And he does miss. Montgomery was in for the rebound, but lost it to Michigan with 20 seconds to go. Rocky Moore with the ball for the Wolverines. It's 55-53.
They pack the zone back. They're going to make him shoot it from out.
10 seconds to go. Turner's short jumper is good with 9 seconds to go. Clock still running. Illinois come down. Douglas.
What did he do?
He got fouled by Tim McCormick.
McCormick lost his head.
I can't believe it. Looking for the timeout to be called, was not, and McCormick fouled Bruce Douglas.
Now, wait a minute.
4 seconds.
He did. That's what happened. And it's an intentional foul to boot.
Even George Solomon had a smile on his face on that one. It really kind of a weird play because the clock was ticking down and McCormick just grabbed onto Douglas.
Oh, they only gave him 1-and-1.
Just the 1-and-1.
Boy, that should have been 2 shots, I think. I don't know what Tim McCormick was thinking about.
So now important free throws coming up again for the Illini. 1-1 for Douglas. 4 seconds to go in the game. We're tied at 55, and Douglas puts us up for one. 56-55. I was really looking for a possible timeout when the Illini brought the ball down with the clock ticking down.
It was about 8 seconds or so when the shot went through. They could have called timeout.
It didn't look like the Illini might be able to get that final shot off anyway. There was 4 seconds to go, and the ball was still down court.
Hey, there's plenty of time. Bruce needs to make this free throw.
56-55. The second one coming up by Douglas is good. 57-55. Michigan inbounds quickly with 3 seconds to go. Turner drives length the floor, puts up the jumper. It's good. It will count, and we go to a second overtime.
Absolutely. He got it off before that horn went. And what a clutch shot by Eric Turner.
57-57. We still haven't put it up on the board, but it counts. A basket by Eric Turner as he drove down and put it up and in. And both teams go to the sideline to wait for a second overtime. Ooh. Crazy game.
What a shot by Turner. Well, I said 4 seconds was plenty of time, and Eric got all the way to the top of the free throw circle and leaned in when he shot it, so he covered about 75 feet in less than 4 seconds and nailed it to send this baby into double overtime.
Douglas made his free throws to put Illinois up by 2, 57-55. But E.T., the man on the press book cover, the junior from Flint, Michigan, has 17 points for the game, and that last bucket gave us double overtime.
Boy, did he take McCormick off the hook.
It was McCormick's foul with 4 seconds to go that sent Douglas to the line for that 1-and-1.
This game's a lot like the Minnesota game last year when Illinois needed the victory to reach the NCAA tournament, and Harper hit that shot in double overtime to beat them by 2. Or 3, I guess, as it was, 70-67. They'll jump it up again to start the second overtime, and
WCIA Champaign, W49AA Springfield.
Ready to start the second overtime. McCormick and Winters will jump it up. And nobody touched it.
Illinois basketball.
Illini will have the ball to start the second overtime. Illini shooting dipped to 41% through the first overtime. Michigan at 54%. Illini need to work the offense now. Montgomery back to Doug Altberger. Illini have only used minimal substitutions in the game. And now in this second overtime, Altberger bangs one on the board. 59-57. The Illini take the upper hand here to start the second overtime.
They're going to go at it man-to-man on this end of the floor. Turner and Douglas, the matchup to watch. Now Winters has Turner in a switch. He'll shoot it from there.
Turner tried to zip the pass to Pelakudis, was fouled by Quinn Richardson. So Dan Pelakudis, 70% free throw shooter, will go to the line. Was a key man in that Downers Grove South basketball team that came down here to the Assembly Hall a couple years ago. His uncle Chris is a Major League Baseball umpire. His dad coached the Downers Grove team. He's a senior, Dan Pelakudis. Made his free throw, 59-58. Jokic is coming back in for Michigan. Relford is in there to replace Rocky Moore. Tarpley goes to the bench. So Michigan continuing to substitute frequently. Balachunas' next free throw is good. 59-59. We're tied again with 4:04 to go in the second overtime. Got to get it in. Richardson finally to Montgomery. Back to Quinn. To Douglas. Here comes the line on 3-on-1. Oldenburg up and good. And a foul on Michigan.
Well, Doug's down this time, and I'm not so sure he's not hurt.
Oh, he put it in his second gear, didn't he?
There it is, and there's the foul. Boy, what a shot by Relford.
He really undercut him on that one.
He should get 2 free throws on that play. That's what Lou Henson's talking about to Richie Weiler.
Well, Relford took his feet right out from under him. Made the basket, and may not be able to shoot the free throw. As really stunned as he hit the floor. Doug Altenberger.
Well, there's a guy that's been on the floor 5 or 6 times today after loose balls, drawing charges. He makes the big basket that puts Illinois ahead and paid the price as Relford really gave him a shot in midair.
And Relford at 6'6", 230 pounds. I guess in football it would have been a clip, wouldn't it? Take a look at it again.
There's the pass and a beauty from Douglas.
Bumped him from the side. It's really hard to tell. But there's no doubt that Altenberger went down and went down hard.
Well, I don't think the question is whether or not it's an intentional foul. It's whether or not it's an undercut, which is a flagrant foul, and that's what that was. He was undercut, and that's why he hit the floor so hard. But I'm pretty sure there's just going to be 1 free throw shot, and I would have guessed that Tony Weisinger might be the guy to shoot it. Altenberger's up to a squatting position now. He's starting to get back to his feet.
His basket gave the Illini a 61-59 lead with 3:57 to go in the second overtime.
Boy, that was scary.
Illini had a 3-on-1 going down there, and I tell you, Doug really put her into high gear when he made that move to the basket. Doug was shaken up in the Missouri game. Took a blow to the head and was really seeing stars at the end of that one. And now he's up on his feet and will go to the bench. I'll tell you, he looks in a lot better shape there than he did when he came off the floor in the Missouri game, Dan.
I think he's going to be okay. He's just not too sure exactly where he is. It doesn't appear over there on the bench.
Weisinger will be into the game.
I believe the Illini can pick whom they want to shoot that free throw, and I know who it won't be.
Richardson's had a hot hand at the line, but Weisinger's
I guess, yeah, Weisinger's probably the highest percentage shooter on the team.
Yeah, he's around 80%.
So he's going to get it.
He goes to the line. And
getting only the 1 shot.
1 shot. 61-59 as Weisinger shoots the free throw. And makes a 3-point lead now, 62-59. Second overtime. And a foul of Montgomery. Tried to get in on McCormick.
Not much question about it. George banged him with the body. That's 4 personal fouls on Montgomery and the 1-and-1 from McCormick. Somebody's going to blink in this free throw shooting contest. I don't know which side it's going to be.
McCormick's 2 out of 2 at the line. 6'11" senior from Clarkston, Michigan. Makes his first. Get a second. 62-60. Lou Henson is waving Doug Altenberger back in the game, so Doug's okay. Gets a big hand from the crowd.
I tell you, it takes a real shot to knock that guy out of the game.
One more free throw coming up for McCormick. Missed. And Turner has the rebound. Back to Tarpley. And back to Turner. So Michigan with the ball, trailing by 2. As Eric Turner came up with the rebound after the missed free throw by McCormick.
Well, what a play
Came
by
all the
Turner.
way from the side.
He has done it all.
.320 to go here in the second overtime. And a foul on Richardson as he had his arms around Antoine Joubert. And that'll give the Wolverines a chance to tie it up.
We'll check Joubert at the free throw line for the first time.
73% free throw shooter. You see Quinn with his arm around Joubert, and the whistle blown by Richie Weiler.
Lou Henson saying, hey, why call a foul like that at this point in the game? And it's true, they have let much heavier contact go by the board.
Joubert, 6'5" freshman. Makes 62-61. Back to a 1-point lead. And a chance here for Michigan to tie it up. Game's been tied up a half dozen times. Joubert makes them both.
About those two.
And we're even at 62 now with 3:13 to go in the second overtime. McCormick. But back into Illinois hands. McCormick had the steal, but came back to Richardson. Quinn gets it off to Douglas.
Michigan's really tightening the screws on defense.
Sure are. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second overtime. Just halfway through the period.
Screens are a little tougher to come by. Winters trying to post McCormick. Can't do it.
Well, McCormick's done a real job on Winters since the first half.
Ephraim can't shoot that.
Oh, almost lost it. Saved by Richardson with 1:55 to go.
Winters almost had a step on McCormick. Now puts it on the floor. Well, this is good defense by Michigan. And good patience by Illinois on offense.
They want to force anything at this point after holding the ball this long.
Montgomery's trying to get loose from Tarpley, but couldn't do it.
And we're down now to 1:30 to go in the overtime period. That shot is blocked, and it's Michigan ball. Douglas's shot was blocked. I believe it was Tarpley that got it.
It was, and then Bruce punched it out of bounds.
There it is, going up against the big 6'10" Tarpley. Bruce has given away 7 inches. So Michigan with the ball tied at 62. Joubert back to McCormick to Turner. They'll put it in his hands. With 1:15 to go.
And I'm sure Michigan would like to run it down for one if they can get the job done. They're spreading things out a little bit. Cutting off screens down low on the baseline. You get Pelakudis, even the big guys coming outside to handle the ball some.
Joubert with the ball now, under 50 seconds to go.
He almost got it stripped. Almost turned it over.
Down to 45 seconds. We're tied at 62. This is the second overtime period.
Lou Henson tells him to pick up the pressure.
Eric Turner, who connected at the end of the first overtime to tie things. The clock is down to 20 seconds to go. The clock is down to 15 seconds to go. Turner with
No timeout. They're going for it.
They're going for that last shot. Pelakudis has it. It's batted away with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Long toss by Altenberger's no good. We're going to a third overtime. Better check the parking meter. As we hit the third overtime. Tied at 62-62. As the Wolverines never got that last shot off.
Good team defense by Illinois. Everybody swarmed around the basketball. Montgomery got a hand on it. Finally, it rested in the hands of Altberger. He gave it the wild heave at the buzzer, but this has turned into a long afternoon.
I don't know if we have a record for the longest game the Illini I've ever played. I can only remember doing double overtimes. I don't remember triple.
This may be the first one we've done in 7 years.
62-62. Tied at the end of regulation play, 46-46. At the end of the first overtime, it was 57-57. And each team scored 5 points in the second overtime. And you wonder how much a factor, Dan, all the players that Michigan have been using, and the Illini, of course, really basically have been using about, since late in the second half, just 6 players. And wonder how the length of this game is going to take its toll.
Well, there's no question that it's a test of Illinois' conditioning, but Michigan has kept these guys, this lineup, in much of the time. Not Tarpley always, but Pelikutis and Turner and Joe Bear and McCormick have been in the bulk of this time, the second half, and in the overtimes. But
Michigan has the tip to start the third overtime. Eric Turner with the ball. Bruce Douglas looking it in.
Shooting percentage is 54 for Michigan, 43 for Illinois.
And they threw the ball away. Pelikutis just threw it away. Montgomery and Altberger stepping in there, and Illinois has the ball with a minute gone in the third overtime. We're looking at 15 extra minutes of play in this game.
We may not be through yet.
Now the Bradley fans remember that game against Cincinnati a couple of years ago. There's the tip for the alley-oop, and Winters flushed out of bounds. Michigan ball. What was that? About a 6 overtime game a couple of years ago.
Here's a look at the play.
The question is, McCormick forced him out of bounds. The referee said no. Inbounds pass, stolen. Douglas broke it up, and Altberger picked it off. So the Illini get it back.
Big turnovers on both sides. And Illinois is in the driver's seat for the time being.
3 minutes, 15 seconds to go. The referee saying, watch your hands underneath.
Tony Wise up off the Illinois bench. We'll check in if Illinois gets the lead. Almost threw it away. Douglas wasn't expecting the pass to George.
Clock down to 2:50 to go. 2:50.
Well, Illinois is not really heading toward the basket. More like they're trying to run some time here. And maybe sneak somebody back door. Everybody is at free throw line or further out right here.
Richardson back to Montgomery, back to Quinn. Pelikutis on him.
Yeah, that was darn near a foul there.
2:20 to go.
Tarpley's not really chasing Montgomery too much, so George is able to come out and take some of the pressure off the guard.
McCormick playing in there with 4 fouls. As is Montgomery.
Well, you'd hate to lose your leader. And I'm talking about Montgomery in a situation like this.
And McCormick against Winters. Winters trying to draw the foul to Douglas.
Side 2 now.
Minute 50 to go. They missed the third overtime. Richardson. Back to Montgomery, back to Quinn. Clock ticks down. Minute 40 to go. Almost a steal by Pelakudis.
By doing this, the Illini aren't having to work so hard.
Back at the Assembly Hall, Dave Shaw along with Dan Rohn, where we have a minute 28 to go in the third overtime of this game, and we're tied Illinois 62, Michigan 62. Illinois has the basketball. They've already run off a couple of minutes off the clock, and there has been no scoring in this overtime period. No lineup changes for the Illini. Gilbert back in for Michigan.
So's Rocky Moore.
And Rocky Moore.
McCormick is out for the first time, and I can't remember when. And
He looks
Tarpley
like he's a little tired,
yeah, he
too,
should be. He's really done a job on Winters. And
Yeah.
Ephraim, no doubt, is a little bit tired, too, from going up against all that pressure.
Inbounds pass to Weisinger.
He's got a
Up in
problem.
there, gives to Altenberger on the baseline. They need to work it back. And they do to Winters.
Okay.
Minute 15 to go. Tony Wire the ball out front.
Montgomery's out of the game. Inside a minute now.
There's Weisinger driving up, blocked by Tarpley, picked up by Winters, and a foul called on Tarpley. It will send Winters to the line. Well, Tony White took it right down amongst the big trees. As you'll see right here against the six. He's given up a foot there. Tarpley blocked it. Winters got the loose ball and was fouled by Roy Tarpley, who gets his third personal. McCormick comes back in to replace Rocky Moore. So we got the two big guys in there, McCormick and Tarpley.
You know, Weisinger crossed over and shot that ball reverse off the backboard. He would have blocked Tarpley out with the rim, and he would have made that shot.
Ephraim Winters with two shots coming up here. First one is good. Illinois regains the lead, 63-62. And that is the first point in this overtime period after 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Second one coming up here for Ephraim. Good. The Illini lead by 2 again, 64-62. 50 seconds to go. White knuckle time again. Eric Turner with the ball for Michigan. Driving, he's got the lane, puts it off the board and in. Eric Turner just took it in for the uncontested basket. 64-64, tied again. Turner with 19 points. And Richardson with the ball for Illinois. We're down to 20 seconds. Down to one shot here coming up for the Illini.
15.
Richardson to Winters, and Lou Hinson wants a timeout with 11 seconds to go. 11 seconds to go in the third overtime period. We're tied at 64, and we'll be back in 1 minute. Tied at 64 here in triple overtime. 11 seconds to go. I'm going to see Eric Turner driving, pulling up on Bruce Douglas. Douglas flies by, and Turner lets fly off the board.
I think what you get on that play is an indication of how tired some of these players are. Ephraim Winters was right there to help out and just couldn't get himself to jump up off the floor.
And Douglas has been in there the whole game. Winters had a short breather. Altenberger had a short breather, and so has Richardson. But Douglas, I think, has played the whole game. I don't think he's been out of it. So, now Michigan wants a timeout as they come out on the floor, and we'll wait another minute. Score is tied, 64-64 with 11 seconds to play. Just like to get my breath here.
You don't hear much noise out of the crowd. They just about cheered themselves out as well.
That was all Illinois in the first half of this game, which seems like it was played yesterday. And they took that 27-16 lead at halftime, thanks to hot shooting by the Illini and very cold shooting by Michigan. It was just the opposite story in the second half of regulation play, with Michigan coming from behind. 2 buckets by Eric Turner knotted it at 46 at the end of regulation. Then we went to the first overtime. Each team scoring 11 points. We were tied at 57. We went to the second overtime. Each team scored 5 points. We were tied at 62. And now each team has scored 2 points here in the third overtime. 2 free throws by Ephraim Winters and the basket by Eric Turner. So the Illini can dictate terms here with 11 seconds to play. It'll be their play with a chance to go for the winner, tied at 64. McCormick, Tarpley, Jobert, Pelakudis, and Turner back in for Michigan. Doug Altenberger will toss it in for the Illini here with 11 seconds to go. Now, an earlier instance in this type of play, Weisinger took it in and missed the short jump shot underneath.
Illinois is going to wait and make sure it's the final shot with 5.
Richardson, so Altenberger will take it. It's blocked. Michigan has it, and we go to another overtime. We will go to a 4th overtime. Altenberger hit the floor, but his shot was definitely blocked by the Wolverines, and you can see it coming up here.
Good idea by Richardson. He kicked it off to the open man, but boy, give Tarpley all the credit in the world.
I'll tell you, the Illini have had no success in shooting against him this afternoon.
Well, look at that. You see what happened at the end of that play? Tarpley fell right on top of Altenberger.
That's what Doug was complaining about when he got off the floor.
Well, that could well have been a foul. Could very well have been one, but it was not.
We'll bring out the oxygen as we head for a 4th overtime. And I think I can almost make an assumption that this may be the longest game Illinois has ever played.
You may be right, and I'm sure some of those players feel like it is. And this is where Michigan's substitution may begin to take its toll on Illinois.
So each team ended up scoring just 2 points in that third overtime period. A pair of free throws by Winters, and the basket on the other end by Eric Turner.
Gone from 11 to 5 to 2 in scoring in these overtimes. The horn blows, but nobody comes out on the floor yet.
And they crawl back on the floor.
George Montgomery's back in to replace Weisinger. Illinois going with that iron lineup. Richardson, Douglas, Altenberger, Ephraim Winters, and George Montgomery. Michigan comes back with Roy Tarpley and Tim McCormick, the 2 big guys, and the 3 guards, Antoine Jobert, Danny Pelakudis, and E.T. Eric Turner, as we head into overtime number 4.
4, count them 4, as Tarpley and Winters tip it off here again. Richie Weiler tosses it up, and the tip goes to Illinois. Richardson picks it up, out chases Danny Pelakudis for the ball.
Well, the coaches are earning their money in this game, too. The strategy on both sides of the scorers table has really been great. I mean, the wheels have been turning the whole game.
Ephraim Winters will take the shot, will miss it. Gets his own rebound, dishes back to Richardson. Back into Douglas, back to Quinn for the jumper. Good! 66-64. With 30 seconds gone in the 4th overtime.
Illini will zone.
And a crowd really into this one, shouting the defense. .55 to go in the overtime period as Pelakudis gets back to Turner. Trying to slip the pass, intercepted by Quinn Richardson, and Pelakudis threw it away.
Tarpley never saw it, I don't think. He never bent over to pick it up, and it bounced twice before it got to Quinn Richardson. And Illinois wants to take time out.
Both those Michigan big men look a little tired right now. Tarpley down at the other end looked like he's dropped his arms a little bit.
Sorry, that wasn't a timeout. That was play by Lou Henson. Bruce Douglas had a shot, didn't take it.
3:20 to go here in the fourth overtime period.
This is as commanding a position as either team has been in since we got into these overtimes. The Illini have to protect that basketball.
Richardson with Gilbert chasing him.
Trying the double team.
Now to Douglas. Over to Montgomery. Up. Blocked by Tarpley. Montgomery comes out with it, though.
Excellent play by Montgomery. Boy, what a good play.
And threw it away.
Somebody better get the ball. It will be Michigan's ball.
Over and back. And now we'll have an argument about who touched the last.
No. It happened right in front of us, and I don't think anybody touched the ball after George threw it.
I didn't either. Doug Altenberger thought so.
We'll get a chance to see it again. George made the smart play when he pulled the ball out of traffic and headed out to the corner, but he did not make a very good pass. And see if we can see what happens here. Tried to bounce it. Really couldn't tell from that angle by any means.
Right by Richardson and all the way down court. And an over and back violation will give Michigan the ball on their offensive side with 2 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the fourth overtime period. So the Illini couldn't stand prosperity, I guess. Leading by 2. Could not control. There's that big orange and blue flag that cheerleaders have hauled out this year. And everybody's got to be getting tired in this game. Whether you're cheerleaders or officials or players or coaches. It has been, to say the least, an unusual game. We will end up playing at least another full 20 minutes of play here with the 4 overtime periods. So it's Michigan ball after the turnover. No lineup changes for either team after that timeout, and Antoine Gilbert will toss it in here. And intercepted by Bruce Douglas. Down to Richardson. Takes the game against Turner and rimmed it. No good. Tarpley rebounds from Michigan.
And now the Wolverines have a break.
Gilbert's shot is no good. McCormick rebounds to the floor, and it's Illinois ball. Foul called on Gilbert, and what a break for the Illini. Oh. Quinn Richardson had the chance for the layup and rimmed it down court. Michigan hustled back. And there's Gilbert's shot that comes up short.
Ephraim Winters made him change the shot. Then Ephraim went back and got the ball away from McCormick. It went to the floor. Ephraim grabs it.
Richardson was battling in there with it. And I'm sure Michigan probably was looking for a foul in that situation. But instead, it goes against Antoine Gilbert, who fouled Winters from behind.
I can hardly believe Richardson missed that layup on the other end.
1-and-1 for Winters. He makes. And there's a big lead, 67-64. And this one could really open it up, but we still have a long 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go here in the overtime period.
This would be the biggest lead Illinois has had in overtime.
And there it is, 4 points, 68-64. Ephraim Winters connects on both free throws with 2:30 to go in the fourth overtime period.
The bench is on its feet over there. Illinois players trying to get their teammates out there to play some defense. A crowd on its feet, and you can hear the crowd in the background.
Tarpley makes, and it's 68-66 with 2:14 to go. Roy Tarpley pulls Michigan to within 2.
Michigan pulled the pressure off. They pulled the press away. They didn't want to give up the easy basket.
Down to 2 minutes to go. Will the Illini try to run her down here? Douglas doesn't look like it. He drives towards the basket. Instead goes back to Altenberger. Into the hands of Quinn Richardson. Gilbert put the pressure on him. Quinn drives all the way and out to Douglas. Down to 1:30 to go. Here's Douglas to Altenberger. And a foul on Antoine Jobert.
Pretty good time to foul. You see it, no question. Jobert fouls Altenberger. He'll get the 1-and-1.
You know, Dan, an amazing story of this game is coming in. You wondered how Illinois could match up physically with this Wolverine team. And here they are, faced with playing 4 overtime periods against this team. It's really been something.
They haven't given away much in the strength department on this game. And they have shot the lights out of it from the free throw line.
69-66, 3-point lead now, thanks to Doug Altenberger, who has 15 points in the game. Next one is good. 70-66, 4-point lead again for the Illini. Minute 25 to go as Turner brings it down.
Illinois zone.
Roy Tarpley with the ball up and missed it this time. Montgomery rebound. He is fouled by Tarpley. And here's the chance for the Illini to really open it up as George Montgomery goes to the line. Fouled by Roy Tarpley. Here's the replay.
There's the shot. Tarpley really got a good shot. It just wouldn't go down for him. And Montgomery, as usual, had great inside rebounding position.
And here we go. George Washington Montgomery to the line.
We should just sit back and let you hear what happens if he makes his free throw. This place is going to go wild.
He is 2 out of 4 at the line so far this afternoon. Here goes. That answered the question. Illinois 71, Michigan 66. 5-point lead. Montgomery's second free throw coming up. But a short Michigan with the ball. Pelikutis driving all the way. This is to Joubert for the shot. It's no good. Altenberger flies through for the rebound. A foul called on Roy Tarpley. So now Altenberger can almost put it out of reach. Almost.
If it was Tarpley, that should be it for him. And it is.
8 points for Roy Tarpley, and I really was impressed with his defensive play in this game. A 6'10 sophomore leads with 8 points.
He's a Big Ten leader in rebounding and block shots, and no doubt he'll stay atop the
Gonna have a timeout call.
Category.
A timeout called with 1:05 to go in the 4th overtime period. Illinois up by 5, 71-66. Now there's the story. The 4th overtime period, 1:05 remaining. Illinois 71, Michigan 66. And Doug Altenberger goes to the free throw line with a 1-and-1. Jokic is back in to replace Tarpley, who fouls out. He's the second Wolverine to foul out. Butch Wade fouled out like about 2 hours ago, wasn't it?
They also have guard Thompson in there. He's an outside shooter.
Good freshman there.
Par excellence. Yeah, 6'1 freshman out of Grand Rapids East.
Here's Altenberger with the free throws. Missed, and Montgomery gets the save. Illinois has the ball. Montgomery tapped it out. Douglas takes it down central. Winters tries for the stuff. This fouled. And I'll tell you, bodies went flying all over, except Ephraim. He came out on that one. McCormick went one way, and Jokic went the other. Watch this.
Here you go, Douglas with the dish. And this is what you call a strong move. Even though he did not get the basket, he did send some bodies flying, and Ephraim Winters has 2 free throws on the way.
You talk about the athletes of this Michigan team. Well, I think Ephraim took on a couple of good ones that time and came out the better. Free throw. It's short. Has another one, though. 2-shot foul. 57 seconds to go. The Illini have had a chance to really ice this one away. They're still leaving the situation in doubt. 5-point lead as Winters shoots and hits. 72-66, 6-point lead. There's Bill Frieder motioning his Wolverine team down the floor. Guard Thompson from the baseline is no good. Rebound, gonna foul. And it's Montgomery. And he is so long goodbye, George. But listen to the hand he gets. Standing ovation. And a smile on his face. Montgomery fouls out with 10 points. Lou Hitson wants a timeout and see if he's going to get it here.
But before we start slapping backs around here, I think we better take a look at the numbers.
Because McCormick can narrow that lead down to 4. Lou Hitson wanting the timeout and not getting it yet. Let's see. Come on, somebody. There it is. They got it. A timeout. We'll keep it here with 48 seconds to go in the 4th overtime period. It's got to be the longest game ever played or imagined for an Illinois basketball team. Illini up by 6, 72-66, but the issue is still in doubt as McCormick has free throws coming up. Once again, we want to remind you that when this one is over, we have a game next Thursday.
We may leave for that one right after this.
Illinois at Iowa on Thursday night. Illini taking on George Raveling's Hawkeyes, who have been a disappointment so far in the early going this first half of the Big Ten season, along with Michigan State. They've probably been the biggest surprises as far as disappointments.
That's the Big G fan club out there, I believe.
Big G fan club. For George Montgomery.
George got his double figures today, although it took him 3 halves to do it.
The first half was goose egg. So the Illini back on the floor. Boy, they got to be tired. Douglas has to be tired. He's played all the way. You're talking about 60 minutes of basketball. McCormick with a 1 and a 1. Has 11 points for the game. He's 3 out of 4 at the line. And he misses. Illinois with a rebound. Richardson. So after fouling. And gives Dornberger. Here they come. And Doug holds back with a 6-point lead and 35 seconds to go in this game. Richardson fouled by Philippides. 2-shot foul, says Richie Weiler. 2-shot foul coming up. Scott Metz comes in to replace Weisinger with 34 seconds to go in the 4th overtime. Richardson with 2 shots.
Either one of these might well wrap it up.
I would think so. And it is no good. And Eric Turner thought that was a 1 shot. And one of the reasons he did that was that when the foul was initially blown by George Solomon, he did signal a 1-on-1, but Richie Weiler had overruled him, calling for the 2-shot foul. So
I want to tell you, he made some time getting down to that other baseline.
Quinn's got another one coming up. A hard time nailing this one down. Here goes. And he makes 73-66. The big 7-point lead now with 30 seconds to go in the 4th overtime. Turner all the way from the baseline. Shot no good. Illinois ball. Douglas comes out of it and nothing called yet. And finally to the floor. Turner picks up the foul. 1 and 1 for Douglas. And finally, the fans are screaming for the exits. They think Illinois has got this one wrapped up, and they should. With 21 seconds to go and a 7-point lead, a chance to make it 9 with Douglas at the line. Bruce at the line with a 1 and 1. And he makes. 8-point lead, 74-66, as the Illini finally able to break through and break this Michigan team here in the fourth overtime. 75-66, 9-point lead with 20 seconds to go. Pelikutis to Turner. And no good. Rebound. Illinois to Oldenburger. He's fouled by Jokic, and Oldenburger goes to the line. And this final score may be far from indicative of the way this game was played.
I should say so.
Until you look at the little 4 OT figure, and you'll know something went on. What a game. Now we're going to put this scorecard in the scrapbook. Don Klusendorf coming in for the Illini.
Ephraim will take a seat.
Ephraim Winters goes to the bench. 23 points, which is the highest scoring effort. It ties the highest scoring effort by any Illinois player this year. Previously, Ephraim had 23. There's a shot no good by Oldenburger. Here comes Michigan with 10 seconds to go. Pelikutis up off the glass, no good. Mintz has the rebound with 5 seconds to go. Douglas down to Weisinger with 1 second, and that's it. It is over. A basketball game that took 4 overtimes to decide. And Lou Hinson is carried off the floor by the Illini players. Lou Hinson gets the victory ride. Well, the Illini coaches, players, and fans are going to rest well tonight. Long one this afternoon. A history maker. This scorecard is completely full. 4 overtimes. The Illini come out with a 75-66 decision over Michigan. Tied at the end of regulation time, 46-46 after the first overtime at 57, after the second one at 62, after the third one at 64. And the Illini finally able to pull away there in the fourth overtime period.
Well, that's all it would have taken for either team in any of those extra periods, is to get ahead by 3 or 4 points, preferably 4 points, and then make the other team miss and get into a free throw shooting contest, is exactly what happened. And Illinois made enough down the stretch to hold on to put it by 9, but I've never seen a game like this one before.
And we probably won't again for some time. Ephraim Winters leads all scorers in the game with 23 points, 15 of them in the first half of the game. Oldenburger 16, Montgomery 10, Douglas 10, and Richardson 9 for the Illini. Over on the Michigan side, Eric Turner with 19 points, McCormick with 11. They were the only Wolverines in double figures. But again, you look at this game coming in against a physically powerful Michigan team, and the Illini taking them to 4 overtimes before putting them away 75-66.
It was a big problem, and Illinois got the job done. Now let's see how this affects them as they go on the road to play Iowa and Northwestern. They're going to be a tired basketball team when they hit the road Wednesday to play that Thursday game. That's one we will have to. And they're going to have to start shooting the ball better, too.
We'll be there in Iowa City Thursday night. Hope you'll join us then. Again, the final score, 75-66. The Illini defeat the Michigan Wolverines in 4 overtimes, and the Illini stay in a tie for first place in the Big Ten Conference while running their season record to 15-2. I'm Dave Shaw, along with Dan Roan. So long from the Assembly Hall.
You have been watching Fighting Illini basketball on WCIA Channel 3. This telecast has been brought to you in part by Busch Beer. Just don't reach for a beer, head for the mountains. By True Value Hardware Stores. More than a name, it's their way of doing business. By 7-Up, with a taste that's crisp and clean and no caffeine. And by the Magnificent 7 Chevy dealers, the ones with the Chevy price advantage. This program was produced and directed by Ed Mathias. Assistant producers Dave Weiler and Kim Eisenhart. Statistician Jerry Johnson. Engineering supervisor Steve Mailhorn. Crew supervisor Tom Nelson. Electronic graphics John Morath and Karen Johnson. Graphics coordinator Gary Harshman. This to come by. Dan